Hey everyone, welcome back to Breakthrough Innovation. We've got a great new episode today, and with us is Victor Shilo, a technology leader, AI expert, and solutions architect who has spent nearly 2 decades building high-performing engineering teams and driving digital transformation. Victor is the Senior Vice President of AI and Data Engineering at Solved, an author of the book AI Driven, and an advisor to multiple startups. As a Stanford University GSB alumnus and a member of the Forbes Technology Council, he has led technology initiatives for Microsoft, NASDAQ, Kroger, Navy Federal, the Washington Post, and the Red Cross. You may have heard of one or two of those, I don't know. He also co-founded 3 companies, including Epiphany, which was acquired by Microsoft in 2013. In this episode, we're going to cover the real challenges of adopting AI in business, where a company should start and what they should avoid, what it really means to bring innovation to production, and lessons from writing and launching his book, AI Driven, and how AI played a role in his creation. So if you're wondering how to successfully integrate AI into your business and, well, anything else, this is the episode for you. So let's dive in. Victor, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great conversation, and we're really happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So maybe to start off, Victor, can you share a little bit about your journey and what led to your current role?
Yeah, so I moved to the US in 2005. It's been a while. Joined the company as a junior developer, showed a good progress over my junior development tasks, and promoted quickly to the senior developer, and then to the team lead, to a technical project manager, to director of engineering, and so on and so forth. So at some point, I was promoted to the position of CTO of Eastband Technologies. And last year, Eastband Technologies was acquired by a Solved company, and I was offered to get a position of Senior Vice President of AI and Data Engineering. So this is what I'm currently holding. And basically, it means that I'm going to focus on the stuff I like. And this is what I was doing last 6 years. So I started promoting AI first approach here within the company, within Eastband Technologies. Then eventually, I captured with my partner all my knowledge in the book in a shape of case studies. We, we publish it. And it's been successful. Less than a year that the book was published, so it's very recent. And here I am.
Yeah, and the book's AI driven, right?
The book is AI driven, correct?
Awesome. Yeah, I will admit it is good to get to a point where you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do and who you work with. That's got to be a good feeling. So AI driven, one, I love the title. And two, I'm curious, when you decided to write AI driven, what was the inspiration, the key message that you wanted to deliver with that book?
So we started writing this book way before ChatGPT. And in 2022, when ChatGPT, in November, it was released, we looked at our book, we reread it, so that okay, is it still relevant? ChatGPT is so cool. And then and then we read the book and wow, we don't have to change anything. We need to add more content about generative AI, but whatever we describe is fundamental stuff for any enterprises. What we explain in the book is what AI is, what AI is not. Of course, we simplify many things. Our target audience are director, VP level, C level, who probably already experimenting with some of the stuff, or maybe they're thinking what actually it means. And we give real world examples. That's what happened in our life and how to think about it. What kind of methodologies we've been using. Many of these examples can be an inspiration for the people. We do not provide, this is the only recipe you need to follow. This is not our goal. Our goal is okay, we are helping to unlock your thinking about AI. We are helping to understand the foundation, the fundamentals. We share some of the examples when some stuff didn't go exactly as we planned, so lessons learned, and even if sometimes stuff looks absolutely perfect in theory, when you start implementing it, you facing some issues, restrictions, constraints, boundaries, whatever, bumps, humps to reach some meaningful results. So our goal was like, to show that all of this are natural, and this is how you think about AI, and this is like what you can get out of this.
Yeah. I like the idea that if you get the fundamentals right, the principles right, they'll hold up regardless of how the technology advances. What's maybe the most important value, fundamental principle that comes out of your book?
Yeah. So we explain the differences between deterministic world. This is what pre-ChatGPT, and probabilistic world. This is like what everyone is experiencing right now. And what does it mean? What does it mean that most of the, not most, like AI-based technologies, like they are probabilistic by definition. So AI is about, it's all about to predict some stuff, predict outcome, predict your next words in your ChatGPT interface, predict like whatever, like the deals you need to make. And based on this like probabilistic nature, in many cases you need to think differently.
Yeah.
So like the outcome is not defined or properly defined, or like your test, like how to validate the system works properly, is not done the same way as you do with your deterministic approaches. Like, okay, if A happened, then the outcome should be B. Like here, it is different. And this is our message. So it is probabilistic, and you need to think differently. But people are also probabilistic. Like, I'm not deterministic person, not no one else, but still we work as organizations. We move forward, we achieve some results. And when you start thinking about this, you as an organization, a system or solution of your organization can move forward faster, maybe sometimes with hiccups here and there, but you build a process how to mitigate it. Then there is a chance that you can achieve your critical goals way faster.
Well, and I like this idea of the difference between deterministic and probabilistic, because I think, like, so maybe an example, if I go and feed ChatGPT the same prompt every day for a week, I'm going to get 7 different answers.
Okay.
Right. And that's valuable because that shows that it can evolve and change its thinking. I say that with air
Yes.
quotes, thinking. Deterministic, I would get the exact same thing every day. And therefore, I don't have any sort of diversity of response to help advance my own thinking. So I like the way you're talking about those two different approaches to a response that can be generated, deterministic or probabilistic. When you're thinking about that, how does that come to life within an organization? Like, what is the value of probabilistic thinking versus deterministic thinking? Like, what is it that organization is going to get from that?
So many benefits. First, it's maybe your results may be already good enough. Like they're, it is like 99% or 95, like doesn't matter. But in deterministic way, you always get like 100% unless it is an exception somewhere, like hiccup, like true hiccup. Here, like you look at your data, you look at customer data, or whatever you have, and you automate on top of this somehow. You got, let's say, 90 like out of 100 outcomes like correct. Instead of implementing like everything in a deterministic way, which can take forever, you use like Copilot or like any other agentic system on top of your documents, and then you got your output in like minutes, let's say, instead of your team is processing all of this, trying to extract the numbers, trying to do many other conversions, build ETLs and stuff like this. Then you got absolutely correct outcome, but it took like 6 months to implement. Here you react faster. Yes, the human still involved. Yes, you need to validate results from time to time, but the acceleration is, like it beats how would I say it? Like progress over perfection. That's how would I say it. So you move forward, you support it with like human in the loop. You know, like it's not like a wild implementation. This is like you don't treat it as the absolute truth, but you achieve the results like 50, 100 times faster,
Right.
and that
It
is
makes failure
benefit.
really cheap, right? So like you can actually afford to experiment and run these experiments. And if it fails, all you lost is minutes rather than weeks, months.
Correct. Yes.
I love that. Now, thinking about that in terms of innovation and like experimentation, you have a great quote. I think it's on the back of your book, and I know it's on your LinkedIn profile. The innovation is only meaningful if it reaches production. And I won't say I disagree, because I've been thinking about it a lot today ever since I read it. But I also feel like it's a little bit of a hot take. It's a little bit of a provocative statement. So I'm curious, what's driving the hard stance on innovation is only has meaning if it makes it to production?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit what innovation is and what innovation is not. So to me, innovation is like creativity, which has some like value and which is done within some constraints. You can be very creative, but let's say we go into the moon. Everyone can go to the moon, but the constraints, it should be like as cheap as possible and within like, let's say $1 million to go to the moon. No one can do it yet. So within constraints is no any rocket can go to the moon. So innovation always done within some constraints. So it should have value and it must be creative. What does it mean it should have value? It means that someone is ready to pay for this.
Right.
And what does it mean
Yeah.
that someone is ready to pay for this? It means you reach some production level. That is what I mean. Like, innovation happens only if it reaches production. It means that in this case, it can be super creative, but if no one is willing to pay for this, the value for whatever you created is close to zero. Like, it is maybe cool, but useless, right?
Right. Well, and I think there's context that matters there, right? Because you could say a tiger that bounces on its tail, it has no value. But then if you realize a tiger that bounces on its tail, well, that's Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Okay, well, Winnie the Pooh actually created a lot of value. I think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, but I think there's also the idea that you really have to understand what success means, what value is in the context in which you're operating first.
Yeah. Yeah, so like whatever you build, whatever you create, it doesn't matter if you like it a lot or not. What is important that someone else should like it too and should be ready to give you like his or her money. So that is what's important.
No, I like that. I think the more we talk about it, the more I think I agree that because what you're not saying is it's not innovation if it makes it to production. You're saying the innovation is only meaningful if it reaches production. And you could even go as far as to say like it has to change someone's life in some small way or some big way. And if it doesn't do that, if it doesn't create that value, then you are just innovating for innovation's sake.
Yeah. I can give you like few examples what I think is not innovation. So like to give like a bit of more color to this. So like in the past, let's say like 10, 15 years ago, R&D was like a popular term. So like R&D department, like research and development department. So like you can continue doing research and development and continue doing your experiments, and some of them probably will reach production. Some of them will die. So whatever reaches production after R&D, that's what I call innovation. But if you just play it and execute some theories, like implemented some theories, okay, let's validate if it's good or not good. And then it didn't go anywhere, then okay, we had good theory, it didn't go anywhere. We did research, we did development, but we didn't convert this to innovation. It got stuck there, but it's still good result. It shows that this way is, at this moment of the time, it is blocked. People do not accept this solution, or the business doesn't accept this solution, or whatever.
Right.
But other ways, other advances in technology, they found their way and they've been accepted like by.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think, anyone who's listening should go and look up like case studies on Post-it notes and where those came from. I think that's a good example of some of what you're talking about, because that wasn't what they expected, but they still found value for it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you go in, the hypothesis you go in with doesn't have to be true for innovation to be successful either.
Correct.
So Victor, we're getting close to the wrap up point here. What is it do you feel like is most important for our listeners to take away from today?
Well, my goal is that people, or my hope is that people will accept that AI is a transformational point in our history. There will be no way back. Everyone has like iPhones right now, like the AI will be with us everywhere. Yes. And the potential is so huge, but it's not that AI will be ruling the world and AI will like change everything. And there is no magic in AI. So AI is a hard work. Every organization should take it seriously, look more at the data they have, think like how this data can be helpful to build like a better AI, to build better predictions, to accelerate, automate, improve like the current business processes, or save lives, or generate more revenue, or unlock new revenue models. So like, and hopefully everyone will reach this level and like our life will be better.
Yeah. And I think at some point, everyone who's still around will be at that level, because everyone who wasn't didn't quite make it. So Victor, this has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed the conversation. I love the book. I think the concept of AI driven, one, it's a great title. And two, I think the content is really provocative and really helps people understand the fundamentals, which I think is important. Before we wrap up, if people do want to connect with you, collaborate with you, what's the best way to get in touch?
Well, find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way. Like send a message, like why you connecting to me. But LinkedIn, like I check regularly, and I keep all my business contacts like in one place. This is only LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, Victor, thank you so much for the time today. I think this was a really great discussion. And I'm excited to see how people react once this episode goes live. For all the other people who are listening all the way to the end with us, I hope you can take a moment, leave a like and a review on whatever platform you're listening from. And then if you know someone who could benefit from learning a little bit more about Victor's book, AI Driven, or how to integrate AI into their own life or business, share the episode with them, share some of the value with them, and then take a moment, go back, re-listen to the episode, pull out one actionable insight for yourself, apply it, and let us know how it goes, because we're a firm believer that continuous improvement, personally or organizationally, is really important, and we'd love to hear about that progress. Victor, thanks again. For everyone else who's listening, thank you as well, and we'll see you all next time on Breakthrough Innovation.
Thank you.